Hi everyone, I'm Hoodie Angel Brennan, and welcome to part 2 of the 1,000 subscriber celebration. Today we are doing a Q&A video. You guys sent me some questions, and I'm going to respond to those. And I made cake again, but I will not be eating that during the video because that would probably be rude. So we're just gonna put that there. But yeah, you guys sent me a bunch of questions, more than I was expecting actually, and they're really good questions. So obviously, since I was collecting these questions, I have seen them already. So I have thought about my responses a little bit, but I'm excited to answer these, and maybe you guys will get to know me a little better. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So first question is from Myopic Firework, who asks, if I could travel anywhere in the world, where would I want to go and why? I mean, honestly, my room. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm happy right here. Happy might be a strong word. I'm fine being right here. But as an actual answer, if I had to pick one place, it'd probably be Japan, so I can go and spend money that I don't have, but it's okay because this is theoretical, on merchandise that I don't need. Also just, you know, try actual, like, authentic Japanese food. See the culture more would be really fun and interesting. Aside from that, the other two places would probably be New York, because I want to go to the Nintendo World Store, and like France to again try the food. But if I had to pick just one, and you're gonna force me to go somewhere, it'd be Japan probably. So yeah. Next question is from Akira Kurisu. I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly. I am not known for pronouncing things right. I still insist that Keita should be pronounced as Keita and not Shida, and I will die on this hill. But Akira asks, if you could live in any video game world, which one would it be? And that's tricky. I've actually thought about that more than a normal person probably should. You may think the answer would be Fire Emblem, but that would not be the answer because I would be dead very quickly. If I had to pick somewhere, it kind of depends on what game I'm currently like super invested in. At one point it would have been Splatoon. It would have been Splatoon at one point. At several points it probably would have been Pokemon actually. But I think it'd probably be either Animal Crossing, which admittedly there's a little bias there because I am playing New Horizons at the moment, or more likely I think Harvest Moon would probably be the best answer. Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley. You get to get married in there, and they can't say no because you give them eggs, and then everyone loves you. Everyone loves you. There's no escaping it. You can't escape my eggs. But yeah, I think Harvest Moon would probably be a little more, just because it has actual people you can talk to instead of animals. So, but yeah, basically a life sim game because I'm boring and don't want to be dead because I can't dodge a Myrmidon with a 30% crit rate. Next, Woomy Cakes asks very simply, when is your birthday? And it is July 26th, which is a day that I share with the release of Fire Emblem Three Houses. It was very special. It made me very happy that I got to have a game that I was looking so forward to release on my birthday. I was very excited for that. Woomy Cakes also asks, what is my favorite seasonal banner in Fae, and what is a banner you would really love to see in the game? My favorite seasonal is, bear in mind that I'm not super wild about most seasonals, my favorite seasonal is the Festival in Hoshido banner with the Hoshidan dancers. I think that was just my favorite overall. All the units looked so good. and they had dancer utility. As for my favorite seasonal type, I do love all the dancer banners. Those have all been really solid, but I think my most consistent favorite would be New Year's. The New Year's banners just always look really good. I do prefer banners that have characters that look like they're wearing more realistic clothing instead of bunny suits and Christmas suits. I don't really care for those. So the yukata and kimono banners, they look more normal to me, so I like those more. I can kind of I have less of a hard time picturing them in the setting of Faye actually fighting. So those are my favorite seasonal banners. As for a banner I would really love to see in the game, right now it'd be a banner with Ash and or Sedith. But I'd say if like I got to choose my own banner, if I got to build a banner, I would build a Valentine's seasonal banner, and it would have Geralt, both Byleths, Sedith and Flame as a duo hero, not because I want duo heroes, but just because you know they're gonna put one on there. And then Tempest Trial Alois. I think that would be a really cool and wholesome banner, and just be kind of like really family themed like the past Valentine's banners. And I just think it'd be really cute getting to see Geralt interact with the Byleths, have Sedith and Flame doing their thing, and then Alois would be there because he's kind of like family to Geralt. I mean, that's kind of a one-sided relationship. Geralt kind of tries to forget that he exists, but it'd be fitting. I'd like it. I think it'd be really cute. So that's my Build-A-Banner, and I'm really hoping we get to see that like next year or something. Next, Honey, who is actually one of my friends at IRL, asked me my ideal anime or video game boyfriend. And I feel like she should know this, but maybe she just wasn't sure if this was my absolute pick, but it's Yusung. Like, it's Yusung. I love this boy. He is so good. He is so wholesome. Specifically, I prefer Yusung before his character development. Controversial statement, but I actually think he's a lot cuter before he kind of goes through all that character development and starts trying to act like all manly and save the day. I wasn't wild about that. I was just like, man. And he loses interest in video games. I'm just like, Yusung, I just want to play games with you. Come on. But yes, it's Yusung. I've drawn fan art for Yusung. Here's like on Valentine's Day, I tend to draw Yusung fan art. Here's more. Here's me with Yusung. I really like Yusung. Here's another digital one that I did. It's somewhere on the screen. I don't know where I put it. But yes, it is Yusung. Yusung is my top pick. Honorable mention would be like, you know, Corrin or Link. But the number one pick is Yusung. That's of course, you specifically asked anime or video game. If we can include fictional, then it would be my OC, Lucas, because I literally designed him to be perfect and flawless in every way, shape, and form. Next question comes from Weird Zero. I'm gonna assume that's supposed to be pronounced Weirdo, but I am not sure. Who asks, how long have you been a Fire Emblem fan? And I can actually tell you the exact answer to that because I have the data from my 3DS. The activity log actually says the first time that you play a game. It has been 6 years since I became interested in Fire Emblem. I think it was March 1st of 2014. That is, so I know the exact time that I fell into this Fire Emblem hell with Fire Emblem Awakening. Next question is from Hatsune Miku, the one and only Hatsune Miku, who you can see right up there. I have her enshrined on my wall. Very, very amazing to receive a question from the one and only Hatsune Miku. You can't convince me that this is not the real Hatsune Miku. Who asks, multi-part question. First of all, favorite anime, which is really hard. If you would ask like half a year or so ago, I would have said Shokugeki no Soma, because that series was incredible until all of a sudden it wasn't, and it turned into a flaming garbage fire, and it was very bad. I would say it's between Baka and Test and Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. I think it's Baka and Test, but I have watched Zexal more. So I'd say my official answer is Baka and Test, but that one's really tough. Second part of their question is when/how did I get into Vocaloid, and who is my favorite Vocaloid? I actually I was speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, I was looking at Yu-Gi-Oh videos in like middle school, and I saw a Vocaloid song recommended in my on the recommended list or whatever, and I clicked it, and out of curiosity, and I think it was the Popipo song. I think that was the first one that I saw, and I thought it was really cute. I thought it was catchy, and I got really interested in it from there. And in particular, I had a little bit of a crush on the Kagami twins, who are still my favorite ones. My favorite, though, is Len. He is my number one favorite. He is the best. He is so good. So, yes, Len is the best Vocaloid. I am sorry, Hatsune Miku, I have betrayed you. Next part of their question is, what do you think is under Zipper's costume? I think in like City Folk, when Zipper was first introduced, I think there was like some kind of like fan theory that it was actually Phyllis under the costume, and I always kind of like that, but I feel like they've kind of, as in each game since then, Nintendo's kind of distanced themselves from that theory. Like there's less evidence to support it. Realistically, I think there's probably just some random guy who's not paid nearly enough to deal with the nonsense that he has to go through as a mascot. But for a more fun answer, I think it's probably just some kind of unspeakable eldritch entity that wants to flood our entire existence with eggs. And that was what Bunny Day was this year, and it was horrifying, and I hated it. And boy, if I never hear that balloon whooshing sound again, I'd be fine with it, because that was annoying while I was looking for real balloons. And boy, I was looking for real balloons at the time because I wanted all those cherry blossom recipes. So no Zipper. No thank you, Zipper. True Light asks, besides Fire Emblem Heroes, is there any other mobile game that you play regularly? Not regularly, at least not anymore. I did up until around when E3 showed the New Horizons trailer last year. I was playing Pocket Camp daily, actually more than Faye, because you have to log in, and it was very grindy with the events. So there was a lot of stuff that I had to do on Pocket Camp, and I was just playing it constantly and not having fun, honestly. So that's why I quit that. That was the only one I played regularly, though, besides Faye. The other mobile games I played, I haven't played a ton. The other ones I played are Mystic Messenger and Steven Universe Save the Light. I think those are the only other mobile games I've played. So yeah, Faye is the only thing I'm playing regularly now, which is fine, because anything else is just too much stress, I think. Summoner Freako asks, I'm not sure how to pronounce some of these. Aside from Byleth, who is your favorite Three Houses character? And surprisingly, I knew Byleth was going to be like my favorite going in. I knew. In fact, like I ended up being surprised at how much I ended up liking him, even knowing that he was going to be my favorite. 'Cause he's just very relatable. In fact, I got called a Byleth Kinney, which to that I just have to say, yeah, I don't really have a good comeback to that. Yeah, just yeah. What am I supposed to say to that? It's true. So I was expecting after Byleth, I was like, it's probably going to be my top three are going to be Byleth, Ash, Dimitri. And surprisingly, my second favorite character ended up being Seteth, who is just an incredible character. He's really awesome. He's really wholesome. I love him. He's like I think of him as being like Fodlandian Xander. He's the Fodlan variant of Xander, kind of like Alolan forms. In that he's just this like super sweet, caring older brother, and if he were my actual older brother, I would be very happy because I feel like Seteth is just a sweetheart. But then number three is probably Ash because he's just adorable and a good boy, and I love him, and I'm very sad that you can't support him because of reasons, even though he's got a bunch of paired support endings with males anyway, so why didn't they just give him the support ending? I don't know, but they didn't let you. And the second part of that question was also, what is your favorite kind of dessert? Cheesecake. My favorite is cheesecake. Specifically, I really like, I only had it recently. It was like a French cheesecake, and it was very soft and fluffy, but just cheesecake in general. I like cheesecake. That's my favorite dessert. And next, George Salinas asks, what Fire Emblem games have you played? And if you're interested in playing older games in the series. I've currently played Awakening, Fates, Sacred Stones, Shadows of Valentia, Blazing Blade, Three Houses, and of course Heroes. And I guess if you want to count Smash Bros on there, you kind of can with how much of the roster we take up. But yeah, so those are the ones I've played, and I would like to play, well, oh, also I've played the first chapter of Thracia as an April Fool's joke. But I would like to play those older games, but they just, it's hard to play them because there's not a lot of access to them, not easy access to them. I know you could emulate them, but you're not supposed to do that. And also I don't like playing games on the computer because I don't have a controller for the computer, and so I have to play on the keyboard, and that hurts my wrist. Also, if I tried to emulate the Radiant games, I think my computer would catch on fire. So really, those games, I'd love to play them, I'd love to experience them, but I'm kind of waiting on like remakes or for them to be more readily available, like, you know, put them on the Nintendo Switch Online, because that seems like an obvious thing to do, but for some reason they didn't. So yeah, just kind of lack of ease of access on those older games, but I am interested in playing them. Next, Bamboo asks, how are you? And I did respond to them at the moment that I was tired, but as of right now, I'm excited to be answering your questions. And if they want to know my general mood at any given time, it's probably tired, hungry, and lonely is the general mood at most of the time. But right now, I'm currently excited and happy to be doing this. Next, Rick Korpershuk, I am sorry, I am certain I butchered that one, asks, do I play any other SRPGs? No, not really. Fire Emblem is the only one that I really play actively or anything. And the only other one I think I've played ever is Yu Yu Hakusho Tournament Tactics for Game Boy Advance, which is actually a really good game. It's a little on the simple side, but it's really good. I think like I've seen like other like kind of tactical RPG games, but I haven't played them myself. So pretty much just Fire Emblem. Next, Shanna Lowe asks, thinking back to your first video, what advice would you give your past self regarding what you have learned over the years as a YouTuber? Well, the big thing I would tell myself is I would tell myself to get better video editing software right off the bat. I didn't think I could get anything good for free, but I now know that that is not true. I found something pretty usable for free. That's what I use for editing my videos. So that's the main thing. I guess the other thing I'd say is just kind of not try to worry so much about chasing the current hottest trend. Not that I really did that too much at the time anyway. I did try and, like, if a new thing was coming out, I'd try and, like, do a tie-in or something, or I'd try and do something in a few cases. Like Splatoon, I was on the fence about Splatoon, and I got it to do a review on it while it was relevant, which ended up working out because I ended up loving Splatoon, so it was fine. But I didn't worry about too much about chasing the hot trends, but I would have just focused even more on not doing that, even though I didn't do it a ton. I would have just focused on doing what I like, but I feel like that's something I've always kind of done, so that's just the only other real big thing. Just kind of do what I like, because I think it's a lot more fun and interesting to make videos on things that I actually care about, and I think it ends up being more fun for you guys. Next, Super Paltros 23 asks, favorite tracks from Fire Emblem? Another multi-part question. Favorite tracks from Fire Emblem? My favorite overall is Tearing Through Heaven from Three Houses. Just absolutely adore that one. But really just the rest of Three Houses is incredible. I loved the OST on that one. Blue Skies in a Battle, Between Heaven and Earth, Shambhala Area 17 Redux, Tempest of Seasons, Fodlan Winds, Gazing at Sirius, Under the Banner, Paths That Will Never Cross is incredible. Really just most of the soundtrack is just really good for Three Houses. Aside from Three Houses, from Fates I really liked Condemnation, Dark Fall, Desire Below, of course Road Taken, and Lost in Thoughts, and End of All. For Awakening, Awakening was good, but none of the tracks were something I really loved, except for Id Purpose, which is just incredible. Shadows of Valentia had some really good ones. I feel like it didn't have enough music, but the tracks it did have were really solid. Lord of a Dead Empire, with Milla's Divine Protection, March of the Deliverance, and of course Twilight of the Gods and Heritors of Arcadia. All incredible tracks. Beyond the 3DS and Switch game, I don't remember, or I don't know most of the names of tracks from the older games, except Shaman in the Dark from Binding Blade, which I haven't actually played, but I just know Aiden's theme is really good, and that one's really good. So yeah, lots of good tracks in Fire Emblem. Too many tracks. But the next part of their question was, if you were to be a Fire Emblem class, which one or ones would you choose? I like archers a lot, and I feel like I would probably be best with a bow. Aside from a bow wielder, I'd probably maybe be like some kind of magic user, either a staff or a standard mage. So I feel like a class related to one of those would be good. I'd probably be like a bow knight or a sniper, and then maybe like a sage or something. Those are the most likely classes I think that I'd fit into well. I mean, of course, that's ignoring the fact that I'm canonically a Hoshiden Noble and an Enlightened one, so... Next part of their question was, how's my experience with Faye been over the years, like summoning luck, game modes, characters getting added, mechanics, etc., and how I feel about the game now compared to then. I feel like my luck has been steadily increasing, and it's kind of scary. I feel like something bad is going to happen soon because my luck just keeps getting better. Believe it or not, for how good my luck is now on my first account, before I re-rolled, my original account was garbage luck. I had I spent all the story orbs and all the orbs you got from login and events and everything for like the first 2 weeks on Takumi and Leo, and I got neither of them. In fact, I didn't get any 5 stars in that entire time. So it was very depressing, very sad. I was very upset, so I re-rolled. Well, no, I kept playing, and then the banner with Erica came out, and I finally pulled her as a 5-star, and I was just like, I don't know who this is, I don't like this. And I ended up pulling like Crom next, who was very disappointing because of course he's a 4/5 at the time, and then I pulled Lachesis, who is just not good. So I was very upset, and I re-rolled my account. Specifically, I was trying to get Klein, even though I didn't know who he was. I wanted Klein really badly just because he looks like Yusung, because he's got blonde hair and purple eyes, and that was enough for me. I was like, I'm gonna build Klein. And that's why I have a +10 Klein now, because he looks like Yusung. But so I ended up re-rolling my account, and I ended up getting a Hector on one of my re-rolls, and I was like, well, that's just better than Klein, honestly, so I stuck with that. But so my luck has definitely improved. As for game modes, I think most of the game modes that have been added have been really good. I mean, like, they all still use the same Fire Emblem formula, but that's what I expect in a Fire Emblem game, is the Fire Emblem formula. So, predictably, the modes that I don't like are the ones that don't use the formula that I'm actually playing the game for, which would be tap battles and, what's that other one? Lost Lore? The one where, the mode where you don't actually play the game at all. Yeah, I don't like those two. You could remove those from the game and I would not feel upset in the slightest. But other than that, most of the modes have been good. I liked them. I even liked the one that everyone hated, Relay Defense. I loved Relay Defense. I mean, like, it needed adjustments, but I think for having 2 maps, I think it was an interesting mode and I liked it. And then everyone complained so much that it got removed and I was upset for like a year. And they kind of brought back that concept in Mjolnir Strike, which I like, but now Mjolnir Strike has an issue where like they just keep pumping the numbers up to where it's not that like balanced, I feel. So I'm kind of getting worried about that, but the basic concept of the mode I like. Let's see. For characters getting added, I'm pretty content with most of the characters that have been added over time. I mean, like, I'll be upset in the moment when character X that I want doesn't get added. But I feel like if you look at the course of the game's lifespan, it's been fairly healthy. Maybe a little bit of Fate's bias still. But I feel like they've mellowed out on that even. So I feel like overall, most of the things have been pretty good. Nothing that I would personally complain about. But of course, a lot of my favorites are in the game already, so there's that bias there. Game mechanics, I feel like most of the mechanics are fine. Like when they added trenches, that was a good thing to nerf horses at the time. The only thing I really dislike, I'd say, is duo skills, because they're just stupid. Especially the new one on Paula, who can replenish. Why? Why is that a thing? I don't know. Honestly, I just think duo skills are stupid. They're really stupid. But at least they're player side only for now. When we get, as long as I don't have to deal with fighting them, I think it's fine. I'm not too worried about it. How do I feel about the game now compared to back then? I think it's definitely improved. For how much people complain about whatever the flavor of the month thing it is to complain about, I think it's overall in a better state. Could it be even better? Sure, absolutely. I think they shouldn't have locked the continuous auto battle behind Fay Pass. But overall, I think the game is in a fine state, even with how much people complain about power creep. I don't think it's that bad most of the time. Like, I remember when Nagi was released, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, she's going to completely invalidate Ophelia. Everyone who pulled for Ophelia, it was a waste of their time, and blah, 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 blah. I don't see Nagi ever. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw Nagi. Probably when she was actually a bonus unit, and only then. Like, everyone said she was going to change the game, and she really didn't. It's like all this power creep, it just kind of it comes, and then after it's 2 weeks of being an arena bonus unit, it just kind of whatever. I mean, like, obviously there are some exceptions to that. I feel like most of the legendaries post Alm have been really solid. You know, Fallen Tiki, Fallen Korin, really gross, but for the most part, like, even Rinka, like, I think she's still a bonus unit as of when I'm recording this, and I don't think I've seen her in arena once, so, like, everyone who's like, oh, Rinka's gonna be really busted, yeah, but also, like, I haven't really dealt with her, so, like, she can't be that busted. So I don't know. I think the game is definitely in a better place, even if it could be even better, but I think it's overall much better. And then the last part of their ask was my favorite music genre, which I'm bad and I don't really listen to a variety of stuff. It's pretty much video game music is most of what I listen to, and then like Vocaloid stuff. Also some anime openings and endings and stuff, and then Steven Universe songs. That's pretty much all that I listen to. There are a few other things that I'll listen to, but most of it's Vocaloid and video game music. And then our final question of this video, which has gone on much too long because I like to ramble, is by an anonymous user on My Curious Cat. And this one is actually a very good one to end the video off on, I feel. It is, what inspired the blue hoodie and the name Hoodie Angel Brandon? Well, the short answer is they're inspired by my book that I'm trying to publish. The characters have, the main character's love interest wears a hoodie. And it was just part of his character design. I gave him a hoodie. And he's an angel, so I was like, oh, a hoodie angel. And he gives the main character, who may or may not be a self-insert of myself, he gives him a light blue hoodie because his favorite color is light blue. And after I decided on that little bit of character design, I guess, because it's their main outfits. They do wear other outfits, but those are the main ones. With that in mind, I was like, oh, well, I'd like to have a hoodie that looks like the one in the character that my book wears. So I got one. And then when I was rebranding my channel a few years ago, I was like, well, what am I going to rebrand to? And I went by Prince B, and I didn't like, I don't know, it just felt kind of impersonal, kind of detached and a little arrogant, like, because of the Prince part of it. And I wanted it to be more, I wanted my channel to feel more like kind of just a comfy place that you can come and listen to me talk about things that I really care about. So I wanted something a little comfy sounding, and I was like, well, I'm writing this book about angels that wear hoodies. So I was like, well, Hoodie Angel Brandon. That sounds comfy and cute and fun. And so that's what I went with. And since I liked this blue hoodie that I had, it fit the theme of the name, I was like, sure, I'll kind of make that kind of like my default outfit for videos and stuff. So that was that. That short answer is already kind of long, but as for where the first character who gives the other character the hoodie, as for where his hoodie came from, it was inspired by a character from one of the Pokemon movies. His name was Tori, and I always liked his outfit, and it just kind of always stuck out to me as being a really cool outfit. So I kind of, when I was designing my characters, I was looking at various characters for inspiration, and that one stuck with me. So that's where the outfit comes from. So yes, that was the final question. Again, I want to say thank you all so much for all these questions that you gave me. I hope you enjoyed giving them to me and listening to my very long-winded answers to them. And also, of course, more importantly perhaps, no, both were really important to me. But also as important is thank you again so much for all your support over the years and helping me hit this big milestone. I am just very happy that we were able to do it. So yes, happy 1,000 subscribers, everyone. Thank you again for your support. And until next time, this is Hoodie Angel Brandon, signing out.